Okay, this presentation is designed for sitting down with a natural market appointment. It's designed to be pretty quick, just to take them through the process. So I'm sitting down with my natural market, and what I wanted to do is just show you a little bit about how I work with my clients and prospects. When I do this, most people fall into one of two categories. Either they have a financial plan, it's updated annually, they know how much they need to be saving for retirement, or secondly, they've never had a financial plan, don't have one currently, and would like to go forward and at least have a financial plan developed. So when I sit down with my clients, the first thing I do is set the table. I want to go over the agenda. My agenda is we'll talk a little bit about Mutual of Omaha, talk about the process that I use in working with my clients. We'll spend some time on needs identification and analysis. That is, we'll look at where they are currently, where they'd like to go in the future with their planning. We'll talk about budget, the most effective way to allocate their insurance and investment dollars. We'll look at solutions that other people have used to secure their financial future. And then we'll talk about the next step, the most effective way to proceed with the planning. Couple expectations that I will keep you current as to your needs and goals at least annually by reviewing your coverage with me, and I would hope that if I bring value to the situation, your situation, I hope you'll introduce me to other people who might benefit from meeting with me. Now, a little bit about the company Mutual of Omaha. You know Mutual of Omaha, we've been around for over 100 years. It's our 101st year this year. In 2008, we paid over $2 billion in benefits to our policyholders. That's $7 million every single day paid out in claims. Our assets under management are over $21 billion. We have policy reserves of $18 billion. Our statutory surplus reserves are 2.1s. That is money set aside to pay future obligations. Basically what that means is we're going to be around come claim time and have the money to pay your claim or any other claim. Those things allow us to enjoy some of the very best ratings by financial institutions or financial companies like AM Best, where we have an A+ Superior, Moody's Investor Service, and A3 Excellent, and very strong with Standards & Poor's. Again, those are some of the very best. Again, while many companies are struggling in hard economic times, Mutual of Omaha is actually thriving, and again, that's because of our conservative management style. Mutual of Omaha, located in Omaha, Nebraska. Most people know us by Wild Kingdom, which was a show in the 60s and 70s. It's actually been reintroduced here. It's one of the most entertaining and highly rated shows on cable today. You can find it on the Animal Planet. We are also one of the sole sponsors of USA Swimming. So when I go about working with my clients, we work with them in a financial strategy. A strategy much like you would build a house. How do you start when you build a house? That's right, from the ground up, or the foundation. So the foundation of our plan is protection management, providing protection in the event of an untimely death or disability. Debt management helps us to eliminate bad debt as quickly as possible, to maximize cash flow that would then go into the next stage, asset management, and that would be securing funds for retirement, children's education, or other goals that folks might have for savings. And lastly, wealth management, establishing an estate distribution plan to take care of the things that you've worked all your life to accumulate and make sure they go where you want them to go. So we prepare a customized financial plan. This one that I'm going to show you here quickly is actually a real life scenario. We've just changed the name. It was a client out of our Portland office. We've just changed the names to protect the clients. So John and Mary Smith here. We have John and Mary are in their 30s. They both work. They earn about $70,000 annual income. They have a couple of small children. They're saving some money in their retirement fund. They've got some assets in the bank. They have some liabilities. They have some cars. They have a mortgage, that sort of thing. Their concerns were needs in the event of death, college funding, and retirement planning. So the information that we took for this personal summary goes into the needs analysis. First thing it establishes is a net worth. That is, you take all your assets, you subtract your liabilities, and how much is left over. That's one measure of financial success in a family's life. For John and Mary, it was $230,283. Pretty good for this point, but obviously want to improve that over time if we can. When we look at financial needs in the event of John's death, again, what we do is a customized plan. We sit down with John and Mary and went through what they needed in their life insurance plan. Most people know they need life insurance. They just don't know how much they need and, in fact, don't have the right amount. So with John and Mary, John wanted at his death, and Mary a $10,000 final expense fund. That was to bury them. Obviously, they didn't have that money setting aside. A debt payment fund of $199,217. That is to pay off the mortgage and some other obligations that they have. Their emergency fund for things that you can't think of. They wanted to have a few months of John's income set aside. That's $17,500. And lastly, they wanted to have some money set aside that if John isn't here in the future, to help the kids go through college. And our program calculated that they were going to need $67,333 based on the children's age and the college that they had identified at this point. So total immediate cash needs are $294,000 and $50,000. Most people haven't even gone that far in their life insurance planning. What they own is a $100,000 policy or something from work and think they're fine. And Mary and John's eyes obviously started to open at this point about how actually they didn't have enough insurance. So then we look at income needs. Again, John goes to heaven tomorrow. He's not going to have an income anymore. Mary said that she would keep working, so this green in our graph here is represented by her income. We would have some Social Security money coming in for the 2 kids, but the red here is the shortfall. That is what the family would need to maintain their standard of living. So we fill that in. Our program tells us we need $99,254. We add that to the immediate cash needs, and then we subtract any present funds. That might be money they have set aside for this, or typically it's other insurance they have. In this case, John had a policy through work. It was just $54,500. We subtract that. His need then is $338,804. Again, they were alarmed and obviously very surprised at the amount that they needed based on what they said they wanted to have in their plan. Huge shortfall there, and again, not uncommon. So this is basically the graphical version. Then we have the numerical. It shows how we broke each of these down, the capital values of all. The bottom line at the end, it comes to $338,804. We can and do a customized plan for the other spouse if necessary. Typically, it's a different plan. So for Mary here, again, we had a little bit different need, but the shortfall, again, was very large, $300,827. Again, the numerical version of Mary's plan. We talked to our folks about life insurance. There is a variety, hundreds of different life insurance plans out there. In customizing a plan for our clients, again, we look at the duration of need, the premium budget, the purpose of this, the dominant buying motive that helps us put together a package and plan that fits their needs best for this time. When we work with folks at retirement, again, alarming statistics here. Social Security Administration tells us that 66% of people out there are retiring with incomes under $30,000. Now, most of the people that I work with don't think $30,000 is enough to retire on. How do you feel about that? Again, nobody thinks that's enough. So only 9% have incomes over $75,000. 11% have incomes over $45,000. So how do you think, what do you think the big difference is between the folks here in the 9 and the 11% and the other 66%? What do you think some of the differences in there? Again, we get things like starting early, savings, having a plan. Any of those are good answers, and we agree with them. So we sit down again with John and Mary and help them with their retirement plan. John and Mary wanted to retire at age 65. That's the goal. Their current household income is $70,000. They wanted to retire with 70% of their current household income. So today that's $49,000, but when they retire we have to take inflation in account. So that's $137,533 when they retire. That represents a capital value of a little over $2 million. That's how much they need to have saved to be able to have this retirement. Now the good news is there are some offsets here. They wanted to count on Social Security. Not everybody does, but again, if they want to, we'll put it in the plan. So there's a Social Security offset here, a capital value of $897,000 in what they would receive in Social Security someday. John is also doing some savings now. He's got some investments. He'll continue to go at that pace. So we subtract their Social Security, or not Social Security, John's 401k, which represents represent at his retirement, if he continues saving that sort of thing, a capital value of $592,000. So here we have the shortfall, $811,824. That's what they need to make up to have a comfortable retirement. And my question to everybody that I sit down with is, how many people do you think know this number, their retirement shortfall number? Exactly, not very many or very few. How many people do you think should know this number? Absolutely, and that's what everybody says. Most people or everybody should know this number. So again, that's what the value that I think that I bring to the table is. We can provide a financial plan. We don't charge for this. Other firms are charging anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for a basic financial plan. Mutual of Omaha and I will do this for free. So my question to my client then is, which one of the two categories that I outlined in the beginning do you fall in? Do you have a financial plan that you're updating every year? Or do you not have a financial plan and you think you'd like to go forward and have me sit down with you and develop a financial plan? There we go. Again, most people are going to fall into that category of not having a financial plan. That's what I'm in the business of, providing basic financial plans. We'll see if there's a sale involved or anything later. That's not what I'm concerned about when I'm sitting down with my natural market. I'm not concerned about whether they have the ability to take care of anything now. I just want to know if they want to do a financial plan, because that's the first step in my process. That's how I'm going to provide value and make myself different from most other folks out there. And for many of them, I believe that it will lead to purchases to take care of those needs and begin a long-term relationship. Again, that took just probably about 10 minutes. It's what it's designed to do, be very quick, to go through the process with the prospect and showing them the work that I do, how I work with people, and asking them ultimately if a financial plan would be right for them. And again, with the retirement, as I say, the retirement hook in there, they've agreed that almost nobody has a financial plan and everybody should have a financial plan. That is knowing that retirement number and the other pieces in here as we built the foundation to getting to a complete plan. Thank you very much.